Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens had one of the greatest and most unique two-year runs in NFL history.
Now I would just like to introduce y'all to the man, the myth, the legend, the MVP frontrunner, Big Trust. Woo woo, Lamar Jackson in the flesh.
During the 2019 and 2020 seasons, the Ravens flipped the NFL on its head. And while the rest of the teams in the league were moving to a spread you out passing style of offense, they combined the old school power running game approach of pulling guards and fullbacks with the college elements of the read option and the triple option. This made them next to impossible to stop, with 2019 being one of the greatest offensive seasons of all time. They ran the ball for an astounding 3,296 yards, setting an all-time NFL mark. This led to 206 yards per game average, with the second place team coming in at 144 yards per game. They also led the NFL in scoring with 33 points per game and were second in total yards with 6,500. Now, Lamar also had one of the most iconic QB seasons ever, winning the unanimous MVP and breaking the all-time QB rushing record with 1,206 yards on the ground. Now, what really set the table for this whole offense and what we will be focusing on a ton is the pistol formation. The pistol formation is a shotgun style play, but with the big difference being the QB is closer to the center and the running back is lined up directly behind the QB. What this allows the offense to do is have full access to an under center pro style running scheme, complete with powers and outside zone stretches, while still allowing you access to the college running style with jet sweeps, read options, and triple options. Now, later in this scheme, we're going to be adding some shotgun elements to our offense to give us more variation, but right now we are really zeroing in on the pistol. Another great thing about the pistol is it really allows us to have full access to the under center play action game. This is one of the toughest things to stop in all of football, and it is going to allow for us to hit huge plays down the field when the user and the defense starts to overplay to stop our powerful run game, and we can hit them over the top. We're also going to put a premium on pre-snap motion. This is going to give us a numbers advantage in the run game and allow us to even be more effective. We also really like motion because it increases the deception of our offense. It's really going to cause confusion in the backfield and make the defense unsure of where we are going with the football. Jet sweeps are going to be another component of our offense where we're using pre-snap motion to get a playmaker on the edge of the defense with speed. And for our personnel, we want big and physical across the board. This is a power offense, and we're going to have multiple running backs and tight ends on the field at almost all times. They're really going to be the stars in our passing game as well, and they're going to be soaking up a ton of targets in our play action passing. Now, for this offense, we are going to stay true to our roots, and we're going to be running this out of the Baltimore Ravens Playbook. Now, a lot of what we're going to be running in this offense is based off what the Ravens are going to do in real life, but I like to put my own spin on these offenses to make sure they're as effective as possible for you guys to use when you are playing with it in Madden. Now, I'm going to be putting out a ton of videos on my YouTube channel for this scheme, but I'm going to be putting out even more on my brand new website, Scheme Kings. Now, you'll be able to run this offense with no problems with just what I put out for free on my main YouTube page. But if you really want to take this Pistol Ravens QB run offense to the next level, that is where Scheme Kings is going to come in and be a great service for you. So up right now on the site, there's a 6-play scheme out of Pistol Bunch. This is going to have 4 pass plays and 2 runs, and it is going to be a great start to this offense. If you are a fan of my wide zone scheme I put out a few months ago, this is going to have some really big similarities to our Bunch X Nasty scheme, and it's going to give you a very explosive start to this offense. Now, if you want to check out that scheme right now, I will leave a link to Scheme Kings down in the description below. Now, the first group of formations we're going to focus on in our Pistol O are going to be Full House Base, Pistol Strong, and Pistol Strong Slot. Now, these are going to be our base sets that do the best job of really showcasing our read option and triple option offense to give us a crazy explosive run game with a great play action game off of, to attack deep down the field and pick up huge chunks of yards. Now, all 3 of these formations are going to be using 2 running backs, 1 tight end, and 2 wide receivers. Now, this personnel grouping is called called 21 personnel. The next two formations we're going to look at are strong eye wing and weak eye wing. These will feature some of the more classic under center running schemes like power and stretch, while also having a nice read option component off of it. This is also going to feature a really explosive play action deep passing game that is going to complement this heavy running set perfectly. Now these sets are going to be run with 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, and 1 wide receiver. This is called 22 personnel and is going to give us a great power element to our offense. Then our third personnel grouping is going to be 11 personnel. That is going to be 1 running back, 1 tight end with 3 wide receivers. Now this personnel is what we're going to be using for our pistol bunch formation, and obviously this is going to be a lighter personnel, but it's going to give us more speed and playmaking on the outside. This is also going to be the main personnel that we use for our shotgun offense that we will be going over later. Now right at the start of Madden 22, I actually released a Ravens QB running offense out of shotgun. Now there are 9 videos out for that offense right now and even more available on Scheme Kings. Now obviously these videos are a little bit older and not all of it is going to work the same way at this point in the game, but if you really want to get a head start on this Ravens offense and take a look at some of the early stuff I put out for it, I'll leave a link in the description for this playlist for this scheme down below also. Okay, now we're going to look at the personnel for this offense and we're going to look at our 4 main stars that we need to key on for this scheme. The first is going to be our QB, and he is really what is going to make this offense roll. Now in the Ravens offense, obviously this spot is Lamar. He is incredibly fast and dynamic with the ball in his hands and is going to force the defense to respect him in the run game. So we are going to be using Randall Cunningham in this spot. He is really going to offer all the same attributes, and then for abilities on him we have pass lead elite. This is going to allow for extra zip on the football, and this is going to make sure we can make people pay in the play action pass game. Now I'm using pass lead elite, but you can use set feet lead or gunslinger also, anything that is going to give you that extra zip on the ball. Now the next 2 stars we're going to go over are 2 running backs. Now at tailback we want a strong, powerful inside runner who can get those tough yards in the middle of the defense. And then at our fullback we are really going in the opposite direction. We want speed and a back who is super dangerous in the pass game out of the backfield. He is going to be catching a ton of passes in the flats and deeper down the field on wheels and seam balls. And on him we are using the ability Backfield Master. This is going to give us more hot route options out of the backfield and is going to increase his receiving skills. Then our 4th star we're going over is our number 1 tight end. He needs to be an excellent run blocker to set the edge in our run game. The better he is, the more effective our run game will be overall. He also needs to be athletic enough to make people pay in the play action pass game and catch tough passes over the middle. At this spot I'm using Frank Wide Check, and I'm using the ability Short in Elite on him, which is going to help him beat man covered. And then I'm also using Honorary Lineman. Now this is going to make him a better blocker in the run game. So the rest of our personnel is going to be important, but if you nail these 4 spots, you are going to be in a great spot. Okay, now we're going to look at our wide receivers. So for our number 1 and 2 receivers, we want big and physical receivers who can run block very well, but they also need speed to get down the field in the play action game. I'm using Keyshawn and Calvin Johnson in these spots, and then on Keyshawn Johnson, I am throwing route tech on this player. Then for our slot receiver, we want a fast player who can really excel with the ball in his hands on quick short passes and on jet sweeps. At this spot, we are using Percy Harvin. Then for our O-line, we are looking for the most powerful, physical, run blocking offensive line we can find. And then at our 2 guard spots, I'm using the ability Nasty Streak. Now this is a very powerful ability that I'm really going to be breaking down in a future video. Now if you guys don't play MUT and you are playing regs or starting a CFM, I would definitely target the Ravens. Put Lamar in a scheme that is totally built for him and going to make him really excel to the best of his abilities. Now this is going to give you a great power offense to make your opponent pay, but you are going to need a lockdown defense to pair with it. So if you want to learn how to run my go-to favorite defensive scheme in Madden 22, you need to watch this video right here.